Out and About TV. Travel, adventure, and RVs. Join Sharon and Tom each week as they travel America in a 30-foot trailer exploring and living the RV lifestyle. From trip and product reviews to RV show reports and an unfiltered look at life on the road. This is the show for you. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing? It's your old pal Tom McAuliffe. Welcome to Out and About TV. Look at my snazzy new t-shirt that Sharon brought me. You gotta see it. It's got the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, my baby is back. I'm excited, and I hope you can't see that. But no, hey, we've got a great show for you this week and some stuff to talk to you about right off the bat. Let's just get right down to business, shall we? The first is we're brand new and could really use your help. Please send us an email, what you'd like to see on the show. Send us a picture of your rig. We'll enter you into a contest to win a brand new Out and About 2026 t-shirt. We're going to have a t-shirt every year. And so we're going to have shorter shows. You know, our show like 2 episodes ago came out to 90 minutes. So look for shorter interviews. Look for interviews. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But look for shorter, tighter shows. I'm also going to start cataloging all the shows so that you can search at the bottom in your timeline and find exactly the content that you're looking for. Because I know your time is really valuable. So we really appreciate it when you stop by. And here the phone just continues to ring off the hook. And I like that. So, so shorter, tighter shows. And the producer of this show is just, what a guy. No, I'm talking about myself. So last episode or 2 episodes ago, we did in the beginning of summer, like May timeframe, we're going to do a story about wintering at Quartzsite, Arizona. This was the same guy who used to book me as a comedian and a singing comedian into places like that in the middle of the summer. Or what was the other place? Down south of Las Vegas, where you'd go to break in acts. But at any rate, so yeah, sorry about that. But it'll be in the library so that when you're getting ready to go or consider what to do next winter, you'll have that. And the same thing goes for the fall on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I actually thought about that one before we did it. I'm figuring that that show will be on, and then you're going to be planning probably 90 days, at least 90 days to 120 days out before you make the trip. So you'd want that information a little bit farther in advance. But May, Arizona, sorry about that. So shorter, tighter shows. And coming up, we've got some great content for you. We're going to do a trip report on our trip to the Everglades, which was fascinating. We're going to do a roundup of RV camping clubs. You're probably seeing all the ads for Harvest Host now. They're going huge. Passport America. What else? Thousand Trails. RV overnights. So we're going to do a roundup. What are these things about? Can they actually save you money? And what are their destinations? And boy, when you look at the maps, they're really, really expanding. Like for example, Harvest Host, we stayed at a lavender farm. which is different. Museums, barbecue places. So it's very, very cool. We're going to be doing an RV camping club roundup. Also going to do a feature on roadside emergencies. I just went through this. You know, what does your roadside policy cover and what doesn't it cover? What do you do when you have a huge blowout or the engine blows up or transmission goes and you're stuck on the side of the road at 11 o'clock at night? You know, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to also do a roundup of security for RVs. Different, summertime, people get a little bit loose, a little bit more crazy. And what can we do to secure our rigs? What can we do for security? What are some of the new technologies that are available? What are some old-fashioned tricks that you can use to keep your rig secure and your family secure? And then lastly, coming up, 5 secret. I have been deep undercover trying to find the best 5 top secret RV destinations. And it's serious and it's difficult. I go to some of these forums. For example, just one I'm thinking of, there's a forum, and I call them forums. They're on Facebook or whatever, YouTube. One is about finding springs, these secret springs. There are a lot of secret springs out in the middle of the woods. And maybe they're not a huge, huge thing, but there's certainly enough for 4 or 5 people to get in, and they're deep enough to get up to your neck in water, and the water is cold. So a feature on 5 top secret RV destinations. I also am going to do a little featurette on military bases and what they offer civilians like us. Now, I'm a veteran, and you're welcome. And I live next door to one of the world's largest military reservation. And most people don't know this, but there are 28, 29 campsites. And I shouldn't say this, actually. This will be our secret. Okay. See, this is one of the benefits you get from watching this show. Eglin Air Force Base in Northwest Florida has about 30 campsites. Now, some of them are only for tent campers, to be sure, but many of them, you can get a smaller rig in there. Most of them are next to a pond or a lake. And get this, $5 a night. No hookups, of course. And you've got to go through a little 30-minute training session where they talk to you about munitions lying around that if you find some and what to do. And it is a working military reservation for training. So you've got Army out there, Marine Corps, Air Force Special Forces, and like that. So there are areas that are verboten and you cannot go. But we stayed near, I'm not going to tell you the name of it. You got to work for it a little bit, you know. We value what we work for. All right, I'll tell you. Duck Pond. It's called Duck Pond. We stayed at pulled trailer right up next to there. I mean, a site like that wouldn't be surprising to pay $7,500 a night, you know, in other spots. And the fishing was great. Road in, very difficult. Gonna maybe scratch up the truck a little bit. Don't like that, but yeah, we'll do a feature segment on military reservations and the recreational opportunities they offer. I also want to just mention this. We're doing a bunch of housekeeping here. Sorry this is taking so long. I also have a site called Tom's Cabin. As you may or may not know, I'm an author with 30 books on Amazon Kindle and murder mysteries, sci-fi. Yeah. And I've been really well known as a great interviewer, a lot of fun, and my background in radio also probably helps with that, as well as being a photojournalist with Combat Camera Group in the United States Navy. Um, but I've always been known, and people have told me that I'm a great interviewer, which is why I am flabbergasted that I cannot get, you know, we cover the content creators and we're not going to stop. And we're going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about some of these RV sites being done by people who have never been camping, who don't own an RV, and they're basically just trying to get you to click through to Camping World or whatever. Sorry. So I ain't going to stop. We're going to continue to do what we do. We're going to continue to have fun. We're going to continue to provide people. Eden, thank you for your email. Rodney in southeastern Michigan, thank you for your email. And when I get emails like that, I know we're on the right track. This is a no BS zone, and we're going to tell it straight, and we're going to have fun and like that. And to the negative people, I don't care what you think. I'm 69 years old, and I don't care what you think if you're a negative hater. So don't waste your time or mine. Okay, Pumpkin? I love it in that movie where he says, okay, Pumpkin? Oh, what is that? Oh, Hitch. Yeah, we watched that the other night. That's a hilarious movie. Let us know what you'd like to see, and give me your thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot for coming by. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Buckle up, and away we go.
At OutandAbout TV, we've done the legwork for you, watching, analyzing, and curating the top RV YouTube channels that cover everything from trailers and fifth wheels to vans and mobile homes. Whether you're a full-time RVer, a weekend warrior, or just a RV curious wannabe, we will help you find the very best channels and provide some unique content of our own. Channels that entertain, educate, and inspire with hosts that have the heart of a teacher. Stop by and we will examine what these channels are covering. These RV YouTubers have turned their passion into full-time careers, influencing the RV community and even shaping industry trends. And it is more than just entertainment. Just consider OutandAbout your personal digital campfire. For all things RV.
For this week's RV Channel Spotlight, we're featuring one of Tom's favorites and frankly, one of the best in the business when it comes to breaking down and reviewing RVs. Please put your hands together for Uncle Josh Winters, the RV nerd at Bish's RV. If you've ever tried to understand RV floor plans and features, you know how confusing it all can be. Enter Josh from stage right. He makes it all simple. He walks viewers through layouts, features, and the pros and cons of each unit. And he does it in a way that's clear and straightforward 110%. Honest and easy to follow with no hype, no fluff, and a lot of great humor. Each week, he provides viewers with solid real-world information. And that's one of the reasons why people keep coming back. The other is that he's a lot of fun with a great sense of humor. If you're researching a trailer or the recreational vehicle industry in general, or maybe just trying to understand what's available out there, Josh is one of the very best resources about RVs you can find anywhere on the planet. From trailers and fifth wheels to motorhomes, he has become the go-to guy for RVs. We have asked to have him on the show, and we will keep you informed. I'm Hope for OutandAbout TV, and I too am now part of the Nerd Herd. See you next time.
Hey, every week tune in. We're going to keep cataloging the best in RV channels on YouTube and tell you what they're all about and save you a little bit of time there. Thanks a lot for tuning in. The future of RVs. Tomorrow is here today. In this episode's feature segment, we take a look at the future of RVs. Is tomorrow here today? Let's take a look. First, let's go back to the 1930s, where this all started. Early travel trailers were affectionately called canned hams. And they were basically just rounded aluminum shelves on wood stick frames. There's still a couple of those around. I love classic trailers, as you know. I own a 1969 Shasta Compact. And these were, just built on wooden frames, compact, practical, cheap, and built for a different time. And then we take a look at the trailers that are on the road today, and you'll notice something. They haven't changed all that much. And when we fast forward to today, and while technology has improved, a lot of trailers are still at their core boxes on wheels. Boxy. Heavy. They were nicknamed canned hams for a reason. Let's be honest, sometimes they were and are a little ugly. No offense. But that's starting to change. It sure has changed, over in Europe, which we'll show you here. We're seeing more stylish, more sleek, more aerodynamic designs, and using new and lighter materials and composites, and we're going to talk about that. But when we see, a rig going down the road and it's basically just a box on wheels, the shift in materials is fundamentally vital and is coming. That's the real exciting thing. For decades, RV construction relied heavily just on wood framing, wood floors, wood structures that over time could absorb moisture and warp and degrade. But now the industry is starting, we're dragging them into the modern age, and they're starting to experiment and use, Asdel and all the rest of it, composite materials. And it's exciting to see. We're seeing more use of aluminum framing, light gauge steel, fiberglass shells. It's about time. These materials are lighter, stronger, lighter being the underlying main thing, but they're also stronger in many cases. And they're far more resistant to the elements. And that really is the next evolution, in my mind, is composites. They're the real game changer. I think first it's vital to understand what exactly a composite is. A composite is a material made by combining two or more different substances to create something stronger, lighter, and more durable than either one alone. Synergy, yeah? 1 + 1 = 3. Think of it like this. You take the best properties of each material and engineer something better. I was looking at Ember's website the other day, and they were talking about how they basically use Asdel and then an insulating material in there, and then another, and it's stronger than any of them by themselves. Engineering something better. A simple example. Okay, check this out. I frequent the islands, as you know. I recently held a guitar. It's about $3,200, a $3,200 instrument. I'm surprised they let me play it. And it was made entirely out of composite material. It played like a high-end Martin. Gorgeous sound, rich tone, beautiful resonance, absolutely alive. And then the store owner walked over, gently took the guitar from me, raised it above his head, and slammed it down on the counter. Whoa. He must not like Stairway to Heaven, I thought to myself. He took that guitar, smacked it down on the counter, and I mean, it was a hard smack. It wasn't a light tap. It would have easily separated the neck from the body of an acoustic guitar. Easily. Not a scratch. Not a scratched on it. And he told me that they're basically virtually indestructible. And impervious to the saltwater environment, which I so frequently frequent. And that's the promise of composites. I'm very impressed with the research I'm doing. These new materials are virtually indestructible. They're lightweight. They're incredibly stable. And now imagine that applied to RVs. I mean, even fiberglass degrades after, 30, 40 years. There's some old Chris Craft boats floating around that are, made in the 50s. But imagine if modern composites were fully embraced by the RV industry. You'd get walls that don't rot, structures that don't flex, panels that resist impact, vibration, moisture, and time. I mean, say what you want about the old rigs. My 69 Shasta Compact, when I took it apart, you look at that wood, that oak that was used in there, and put it next to a piece of oak that you'd buy at Home Depot today. It was like it's two different species. I actually broke saw blades and drill bits on some of that wood. Yeah. I don't know what that's about. But at any rate, and better yet, these new composites will provide improved insulation. It's not about wanting to camp in the middle of the winter, although we live in a rig or will, and that'll be a 4-season camper, and that is a big different thing. You've got to have, skirts, for example, and, insulation. The more we can insulate our rigs, the less air conditioning we'll use in the summer and the less heat we'll use in the winter. simple. But again, it harkens back to the day when you look at some of those 1930s trailers and it was just, you know, I saw one where it was just aluminum on the outside and then burlap stapled up on the inside was the interior. Yeah. And insulation really is comfort redefined. Future RVs are going to use advanced insulation materials and techniques to keep heat out in the summer. ACs don't need to work as hard and heat in the winter. And you use less energy. What a concept. And it also means less noise, quieter. Tommy likes quiet. Remember that episode of Seinfeld where the guy always used to talk to himself? His name was Tommy, and he used to talk about himself in the third person. Tommy doesn't like the health club today, or whatever. But quieter interiors, so better sound insulation. These new composite materials are going to make a big inroad. We should encourage them. My next RV purchase is going to be a rig that has composites. There's also weight and aerodynamics. Let's talk about something that everybody feels. Fuel prices, gas prices, diesel prices. Ouch. Gas is now pushing $5 a gallon. Oil was up at $128 a barrel, I believe. Weight matters. Weight affects your mileage. The lighter your trailer, the less your tow vehicle has to work, the better your fuel economy. But weight is only part of the equation. The other part, and the part that we are really failing at, is aerodynamics. Sleeker designs so that the rig doesn't fight the air at every step. It slices through it. Yeah. Aerodynamics, as you know, is the study of how air moves around an object. A boxy trailer pushes the air and creates drag and forces your tow vehicle to work harder. A streamlined trailer, let's say, what was the name of it? We saw it at the show. Bolex, I think it was. It's the one where the back is, shaped down to almost a cone. And it's like Airstream. It's all aluminum. It's much more streamlined. He said that the guy that was doing the demo said that it would cut your mileage, your gas mileage by 30% or more. Impressive. Streamlined trailers cut through the air more smoothly, reduced resistance, and improved efficiency. That's why the RVs of the future will be and need to be sleeker, lower profile, and designed with airflow and air resistance in mind. I love that company from Quebec, Canada. I looked at one of their rigs. The entire cabin comes up and then goes down for transport, cutting the wind resistance or the profile of that vehicle, of that RV, by easily 50%. That is half of the trailer comes down. The sound effects are copyright Tom McAuliffe. Comes down, and you're driving down the road. That's that kind of technology we're going to see more and more of. Sleeker, lower profiles, and designed with airflow in mind. And it's not just for looks, although it does look very cool. It's for performance. I love this shirt that Sharon got me. Paris. Oh. You stinking American. I am smoking in front of the baby. Do you hate it? Oh. Let's talk about technology and automation in the future of RVs. Going to play a big role. We layer in technology, and tomorrow's RVs are becoming fully integrated systems. We're already seeing automatic leveling systems, backup and parking assistance, app-controlled lighting and climate, so you can control your RV from your phone anywhere in the world. We add to that solar power integration as standard equipment, lithium battery systems. Why are you putting in an old acid lead battery inside of a beautiful $50,000 trailer? What, did your mama like drop you as a child? Why are you doing that? Fully embrace lithium battery systems and full-time internet connectivity. Now, there are going to be people that resist that. I understand, like, I think it was called the Firefly system. And if the controller module goes out, basically everything in the trailer stops working. Manufacturers need to look at that, and that's totally unacceptable. And there are sure workarounds. So you have an automated system backed up by a manual thermostat or whatever. So we add to that solar power integration, lithium battery systems, full-time internet connectivity, and even remote video monitoring, security systems, smart diagnostics. I mean, wouldn't it be great if your rig would text you, "Hey, you need to change the filters here." It's coming. Your RV will become more than just a trailer. It'll become a connected living environment. We're also going to see smarter layouts in the trailers of tomorrow. Here's where things are going to get really interesting. Space is limited in RV. It just is. You know that. So everything has to work harder. I used the old Sharon edict. Everything's got to do at least 2 jobs, more likely 3 or 4. And in the future, you're going to see interiors where one space does 2 or 3 things, where a dinette becomes a workspace, where a bed becomes a lounger, where storage becomes structure. It's not just about making RVs bigger or appear bigger. It's about making them smarter, making the storage spaces more usable and accessible. And moreover, it's about making the RV of tomorrow smarter, better built, and smarter. The European influence is also something that we're starting to see and see more of. European caravan design. That's what they call it over there, caravanning. And I'm not going RVing, I'm going caravanning. And the European caravan design has long focused on efficiency, minimalism, and intelligent use of space, and I would submit style. Some of it is a little bit IKEA-like, a little bit too severe, clean, yeah. But, you've got better proportions, cleaner lines, and a more intentional design. Sometimes I swear I see some of these layouts, and I swear to God, some guy just started throwing some darts at a dartboard about different layouts. I often wonder that. Do OEM RV manufacturers, do the designers ever take a rig out for a weekend and try it out and see how their layout or design or feature works or doesn't? I hope so. And those European rigs, those European caravans, less bulk, they're more elegant. And their influence is beginning to influence and hopefully reshape American RV design. And I think the marketplace will reward the manufacturers that do that. You look at Intech with its forward cabin design. Yeah. And then there's what's next. Here's something you may have not seen yet, and it's a growing category: amphibious trailers, amphibious RVs, trailers that you can tow behind a vehicle on land and pull into a campground, and yet then launch into a water, and they are complete with outboard engines, steps to access like a traditional trailer, and the ability to function as a small boat. They're gaining traction in places like Australia and parts of Asia. And it's only a matter of time before this idea expands. I saw the other day where were we at? We were either in Texas or Mississippi, coastal Texas, Mississippi, and I saw a pontoon boat where a guy had taken an RV and welded it, hopefully, to the pontoons and was tooling out across the lake. Yeah. One final thought. The RV industry isn't standing still. It's evolving. Slowly, to be sure, but it is evolving. From wood to composites, from boxes to aerodynamic forms, from basic shelters to smart, connected living systems. And the goal isn't just to build better trailers. It's to build better, more livable experiences. Units that are more efficient, more durable, more livable, more adaptable to how people actually live and travel. What good is it if the slides come in and I can't use the bathroom when we pull over at the rest area? Like I say, sometimes it feels like the left hand don't know what the right hand is doing. So we're going to see, come hell or high water, units that are more efficient, more durable, more adaptable to how we live. And so the other question I think it's fair to ask is, why has the RV industry taken so long to change? Now, my fellow RVer, change is hard for everybody. For every business, for every person, change is difficult. If it was easy, everybody would change, and no, people don't do that. For all the innovation we're starting to see, the RV industry has taken longer than most other industries to embrace change and embrace innovation. Part of the answer lies where and how many of these rigs are built. Northern Indiana has long been the heart of the RV manufacturing and the RV industry, and much of that workforce comes from communities that value craftsmanship, consistency, and proven methods. The tradition has produced a tremendous amount of reliable units over the decades, but it also tends to favor what's known over what's new. They are conservative people. This is the way we've always done it. In an industry where margins can be tight and production times and lines are turned for efficiency, there's a natural hesitation to disrupt the process that already works. Why change? This is the way we've always done it. The units are still selling. Why change? And then there's the mindset you see over and over again: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For years, demand supported that thinking. Boxy design sold. Wood construction worked. Buyers understood what they were getting. But as materials improved and fuel costs rose, the customer expectations shifted towards lighter, smarter, and more durable rigs. And that's what we're seeing now. Today's consumer wants more for their money. That philosophy of this is how we've always done it, it's got its limits. And what we're seeing now, I feel, is the early stage of a much bigger transformation, and the feeling of most RVers that it can come none too soon. Because the future of RVing, and RVing in the bright, beautiful future of Tomorrowland, it isn't just about where you go. It's about how intelligently and how efficiently and how stylishly and how beautifully you get to where you're going. I'm Tom McAuliffe for Out and About TV. the sea, from the air, from the land, the latest in news and perspectives. Each week, we'll give you the very latest on news from the RV and camping industries. Time now for our product FAQ/review right here on Out and About TV. Tools that you can use and tools that we have used or are going to use or are interested in. As we continue to look at hitches, we've been looking at hitches the last month or so because we're getting ready to buy one for our new rig. But this time out, let's take a look at Blue Ox Sway Pro. Very popular. You've probably seen their logos around. Let's talk about something important that affects every single rig owner out there. Sway. The Blue Ox Sway Pro is designed to solve that problem before it starts. It's a weight distribution hitch with state-of-the-art built-in sway control. And what does that mean in plain English? It means better balance, better rig control, and a more stable towing experience. Installation is straightforward according to the users I spoke with. And once it's dialed in, they said you really don't have to constantly adjust it like some of the other products on the market. On the road, forum users I interviewed say you feel the difference right away. It's not like another rig system. The only other hitch like this would be the 3P that we talked about. And this one's, $1,000. That one is, $3,500. You feel less push from passing trucks, less movement in crosswinds, and you feel more confident behind the wheel. And honestly, that's kind of what you're paying for. Not the bells and whistles or the great marketing or the wonderful t-shirt. You want towing confidence. You want to know that when you're driving down the road, that rig is securely behind you. And for about $1,000 retail, the price of admission may be a bit high for some pullers. Among online users, the Blue Ox Sway Pro 1,500-pound hitch is praised for its strong sway control and easy setup. 93% of the more than a dozen users I conversed with said that it makes their towing experience smoother and seemingly safer. 93%. Yeah. I talked with 13 people. Owners widely commend the Blue Ox Sway Pro for its excellent sway management, simple hookup, and quiet performance. You know, some of those weight distribution hitches with the bars or chains or whatever, while very effective, there is some noise involved there, if that even matters to you. I mean, I'm hard pressed to believe that any noise when you're traveling 55 miles an hour down the road is a limiting factor. Most users report it delivers stable, stress-free towing experience, with only a few noting limitations under extreme conditions. All said it was worth the money. A repeated claim is ease of use, and one Reddit user in the You Go RVing forum mentioned, quote, "I have the Blue Ox, and it is absurdly easy to hook up and unhook. The Hitch's straightforward design and time-saving installation is real. I found it to be well worth the money." It's a pretty big endorsement. In the Jayco Owners Forum, a member also praised the Hitch's ease of setup, knowing there are, quote, "no greasy bars," unquote. I thought that was basically a biker bar he was going to drink at. No greasy bars to deal with, and that it offered good control while towing, though they did experience a minor issue during use. The only other user that I came across that had a problem was a guy who does a lot of boondocking, a lot of off-road four-wheel, difficult to access, and that the Hitch didn't really like that, and he felt it was too heavy duty, which is surprising. For long-term reliability, one online user said, quote, "Been running the Blue Ox Sway Pro for 8 years. It's the best damn WDH I've ever had. Its long-term durability and consistent performance is the best out there," unquote. Yeah. Some users did have some quote-unquote performance variability, unquote, and experienced some trailer sway when trucks passed, suggesting that results can vary depending on your tow vehicle and the trailer that you're towing. When you look at the Blue Ox system compared to other systems, it is competitively priced and offers many of the same features. It is certainly something to be looked at and be on your list when you're looking to change or upgrade your hitch. By all indications, if you tow regularly, this is one of those upgrades that can just make everything easier. And who doesn't want that? I'm Tom for OutandAbout TV. Hey, thanks so much for coming by. Sharon and I really appreciate it. My baby girl's back from Paris, and she's going to have some great cooking tips and content for you, and we'll catch up with her next episode. Please let us know what you'd like to see on the show, or send us a picture of your rig. We're doing the t-shirt giveaway. You send us an email and you get a free Out and About sticker, and you're entered into the contest where we're going to give away a free t-shirt every single month. And the new t-shirts are going to be available starting May 1st. They're $15 plus shipping, and you can order them through the Facebook page or send me an email and use PayPal, and we send it right out to you. You'll be the height of fashion with the great tagline, "Adventure before dementia." Yeah. So thanks again for coming by. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate that so much. We're trying to get some traction here. And again, let us know what you'd like to see in the way of content, and things that you don't like. As you know, we're going to tighten things up here a little bit and only have episodes that are 45 minutes to an hour long and fully categorized so that you can find what you're looking for. Thanks again for stopping by. You get out there and see Mother Nature, and we'll see you out and about.